I'm Lorna and I'm a trained carrying consultant. In this video we're going to look at a ring sling. So this is a beautiful Starry Night Amira, and you can see it's got a lovely graduation from light all the way down to the dark. And this is really great when you're learning ring slings or wraps, so you can tell where you're tightening as well and you see where nothing's twisted. So for this ring sling, I'm going to pop it. For me personally, I have my rings on my left shoulder, but it can be worn either ways, depending on how you feel, or you can mix it up and try it another way. So I'm going to take the rings in my left hand with the hem facing out, take my hand along that top edge, and I'm just going to put it on my back like Superman, spin it round so it's across my shoulders, and then on the side opposite the rings I'm going to bring it under that arm. So now you can see it's spread across my back and there's no twists or folds. I'm just going to gather it into that hand, gather it up and bring it across my body. I'm going to put it underneath. So we're going to bring it under both rings. Okay, again making sure it's not twisted. Separate those rings, bring it over the top one, under the second one, and then bring all that fabric through. And then we're going to make sure that there's no twists or folds here. So I'm going to pull it through the rings, just bunch it a wee bit, and then I can see that this darker colour is at the top, so I want it to go right the way through, across my chest, through the rings, turn round and come back on itself, which it does there. And then I'm gathering it all through my fingers, making sure there's no twists or folds, ending up with the light colour on the outside nearest your shoulder. And then I'm just going to pull it all the way through, spread it out. So you can see it's nicely spread and nicely threaded. So I'm going to bring the rings up to the top of my shoulder. So I want it to sit in that sort of wee dip there just about your collarbone, and that's where it's more comfortable. Oh dear. There we go. Like this. Like this. You have that. There we go. There we go. Keep them happy. Okay. So this is a really great option to use for a newborn, all the way up to a toddler, up to a preschooler. A ring sling is so versatile and it will last long as well. I used a ring sling just coming out of hospital. That's how we came out of hospital. So for a newborn, they will be slightly off centre. So depending on the size of your newborn and also the size of your chest will depend where's best places. But because of the rings, you'll have a newborn more off centre to this space on your chest without the rings. So they won't be fully on your hip. So newborns will be slightly off centre, in the centre of your chest, slightly off centre on your front. And then for bigger children, so when they get to about 5 months old or older, then they want to be naturally holding a child on your hip, and that's where you're going to hold them. So again, they're not going to be right on your hip because then that's going to push your arm out of place. You want to be just on your hip like you would normally carry them in your arms. So to size the sling, I'm going to lift this top ring here, pull the fabric down, and what I'm doing is I'm bringing enough slack out for the size of my child. So it's a good rule of thumb to start with the fabric at your hip. So you can see here I'm pulling it all down and it's about my hip. So I know that that's the right size for my child. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to size it correctly, and it won't need too much adjustments. So you can see now I've got my pouch. We want to prepare that seat. So a lot of people talk about a seat. If you take the time to prepare a ring sling and set it up, there's not as much adjustment you need to do when the baby or child's in, which makes it a lot quicker, and it's really good for when they start walking around and they want up and down a lot. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull the slack from behind me, pull from behind me, guide the slack up to my rings, and I'm pulling that. So you can see that's the light colour here. I'm going to pull the light colour here and take that up. And I want to feel it as if it's hugging my body underneath. And now that's my seat all ready for baby, and that there's enough space for his legs to go through. So there's enough space here. If you feel like you need to loosen this a wee bit, just pull the rings up a bit and then you've got a wee bit more space. It's always better to have it a wee bit looser than too tight, because when it's too tight then you'll struggle to tighten it and you might get flustered. More slack if you need to, and then you can get used to it. So I'm going to get my helper and give them a snack. Coming up. Oh, you go say hi, yeah? You saying hi? So I'm going to put him on this shoulder, bring him up nice and high. My hand is coming underneath the fabric and I'm going to guide the legs in. As he's bigger, I'm doing one leg at a time, but for smaller babies and children you can do both legs at once. Okay? And I'm just sitting him down. Yeah, sitting him down on that wee wrap, the rope, so you can see that he's in a lovely position. Nana, want this? You do it. No? Okay. So we're going to sit him in that position. My rings haven't moved because when I put him down I push the slack under his bum. I'm holding him in place. I'm feeling for my top hem, which is at the top. I'm just bringing it under his bum. What are you doing? Do you want this? Is it birdie? It's a birdie. So I'm just bringing it under his bum, making sure it's not slack. Not twisted, sorry. You show the birdie. And I'm bringing it over his bum, swapping hands, and I'm bringing that fabric right up to the back of his neck. So I'm not pulling loads, I'm just doing it a wee bit at a time, so then all the excess is still under his bum and under his knees. Okay? So he lets an arm out, so I'm leaving it so I'm not going to cover his arm, but it's still up to the back of his neck. A mushroom as well. Wow, what's that? What's that? Okay, so now any slack, I'm just pushing it again, pulling it from behind my body, push it across, and I'm supporting his bum, and his legs are supported already in the seat, so I'm supporting the back of his shoulders. Okay, and I'm just going to pull this top hem. What's here? That lady bird. You're on. That later. Wow. So I'm going to pull that top hem and I'm bringing it across his body. You want butterfly. Wow, butterfly. And that's tightened the top half. The top part. So you can see that it's come down lower on his back, but it's still above his shoulder blades, which is safe. So because I tightened the bottom and it's all nice and secure, there's not too much I need to tighten, but we're going to work our way through. So you can see this is a nice circle, so if we pull it all in a straight line, it's not going to work the way through to the slack. So imagine you're drawing sun rays, and pull and tighten, just doing a wee bit at a time, working my way through, and I can feel all that slack is already out, so there's not much to tighten. Wow! It's not a biscuit. You want your arms in or out? So he wanted his arms back in, so I'm just holding them towards me a wee bit to put some slack in there, and now I can tighten it, and you can see how that's tightened up. With a ring sling that's got a lovely graduation or different colours, whatever colour is on baby's bum is the colour that you want on the point of your shoulder. So you can see here that it's gone into the lighter blue, and I've got that on the point of my shoulder. What this will do is help counteract that weight and give you a wee bit more support. If it's all up in your shoulder, it'll dig into your neck and feel like it's pulling. And if it's all down on your arm, it'll completely restrict your arm and you'll really struggle to move it. So try and get that nice point diagonal from bum to shoulder point. If you feel like it's still not right, lift baby's bum, pull it down a bit and wiggle, and that just adjusts it a wee bit more. You can also pull it down your back for your comfort. So baby is completely supported knee to knee and right up the back. Yeah, they're happy. Butterfly. You show the butterfly. Yes, it's lovely. So if you have any questions or queries at all, you can contact me at Carrying with Love. You can also get in touch with the team at Clan Oscha and obviously the website. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos and tips and tricks. Say ta-ta. Say ta-ta. Ta-ta.